my symptoms began about 25, 30 years ago, and I was very young and very athletic, and I just started having really bad arthritis and migraines, and it got to the point where I had to quit running. It was just way too painful. I thought I might be doing some permanent damage, and it was ongoing. It became so bad that I moved south to Texas. I grew up in Minnesota, so I had to leave everything because I just thought that it would be easier to deal with the arthritis when somewhere warmer. And it was, and it bought me some years, but I was still just not feeling well, and eventually started getting sick all the time and more symptoms. Migrating joint pain, it would go from one thing to another. And then it would be a lot of things. I had chest pains, like it felt like my heart was hurting, and the doctors wouldn't really take me seriously about that because I was so young. So I just kept on trying different things, going to different doctors, hoping that someone could help me out, going to chiropractors, acupuncturists, spending a lot of money because I was in pain all the time. But I would power through it, and things eventually got so bad that I was sent to rheumatology, and they did a Lyme's test and it came back negative. At that point, I really felt like I did have Lyme's because it was really prevalent in Minnesota at the time. Now it's really very widespread, very widespread. And, but nobody really, I guess, knew about it or talked about it that much. So it wasn't, but before I got to the point of rheumatology and thinking it was Lyme's, nobody even mentioned that or anything. But it came back negative, so I felt like I was sent on a wild goose chase for about 10 more years. My health slowly was just getting worse and worse, in pain all the time. I was shaking. I was sick to my stomach all the time. If I got any kind of sickness, it would just last weeks and weeks and weeks. I had a really hard time recovering. Finally, about 3 years ago, I developed shingles that would not go away for an entire year, and they stopped responding to medicine. And I developed mono. So I was at my all-time low, and I decided a couple of years before that, if it ever got really bad again, because it kind of goes through phases. Sometimes it'll ease up for a little while, and then I would think I was a little bit better. But I decided to switch to integrated health because I was hesitant because it's all out of pocket. And I'd already spent so much money trying to figure everything out. But I knew that I needed to advocate for myself. And if I wasn't going to take care of it, then no one else would. So anyway, I switched to integrated health. I have a wonderful integrated health doctor. She caught the Lyme's and a bunch of co-infections, along with really high mold levels, really high lead levels. And she started treating me for Lyme's and all of the co-infections, and developed and she realized how bad my parasites were when she started treating for parasites. It was just months and months of really difficult. I don't know what to say, but anyway, so eventually 2 years into treatment was really hard on me. It made me have even more pain, made me feel really sick. I had double vision. Much of that time I couldn't drive. I was slowly getting a little bit better. I felt like about that point in my life, I was at about 15%. Like there was not much further down to go as far as health. But I was doing everything that was recommended because I just wanted to get over it. And then during one night or I was just deep diving on Lyme's and how people get rid of it and what people have done. And I ran across Lyme Laser, and I thought that sounded really interesting to me and very hopeful, but I didn't realize they had a home protocol. So I blew it off for another 6 months or so. And then I circled back to it because I was just feeling horrible. And I saw that they had a home protocol. And so I decided to inquire, and I'm really glad I did. They were very patient with me. And I finally decided to start the protocol right after Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving. And I wouldn't say that it's hard to follow. Changing your eating habits is really hard, but I think that alone has done me a huge favor. And I really wanted to get rid of that biofilm to kill all the Lymes. So I followed everything I was supposed to. And now I'm feeling about 95%. Some days I feel 100%, but that's not every day. So I have to give it a 95. But I'm still getting better all the time, getting stronger, and I'm able to do most things that I used to do, which is just incredible. Yeah, I didn't know if I was ever going to figure out what was going on, and I was just slowly declining for a really long time. So it's nothing short of a miracle to me.